Okay, I can't say the name. I'll play King's Engine again. King's Engine's probably kind of a reliable workhorse here. So E5 and knight C6, assuming the main line is follows. Okay, the dreaded bayonet attack. So I think I'm going to I'll try and disrupt him actually. A5, surprise A5, trying to offer him a temporary, pawn sack. I'm not going to try and retake that because the knight D2 to B3 with tempo gain. I'm just going to let it sit there and just now play for my kingside attack, but without allowing knight G5 to E6. Okay, knight H5 to F4, maybe G5 and F5. So I dread the bayonet attack in longer time controls. On the other hand, sometimes you can. I played a beautiful game against Jeff Goldberg once, just sacking on F4, because I was influenced by Gligoric with this brilliant C-prize game where he sacked a knight on F4. I was using knight E5 square later and using the pawn mass later against White's king. Okay. So sometimes the King's Engine isn't for the faint-hearted. Alright, but here, am I letting knight B5 happen after takes on D6? So CD, CD. I think I am. It's probably quite quick, this attack. Maybe I got F5 and Rook F6 to protect that D6 pawn. Standard tactics like check, takes, and knight E5. I've got bishop E5 attacking C3 though, because this diagonal is slightly weakened. So C3 is a tactical vulnerability, or maybe I'll take on A1 in some lines. So at the moment, CD, CD, I don't know, B5 would block the knight in though, so he couldn't play knight B5. Maybe knight B5, threatening B takes. Yeah. Right, okay, so I'll go ahead with F5. So E4's on the fire anyway. So takes, knight E5, bishop E5. He might do this exchange sack. Yeah. I wonder, actually, rook A5. Bishop takes D6, rook B5. Bishop E7 though is the snag. What about just taking on E4? Is that a cheeky move? Just taking on E4? I think it might be. Just to try and undermine maybe D5 later. There's a rook F6. Because knight D2 to E4 give a big knight to white. Actually, a rook A6. I've just spotted rook A6 as a resource here. So no, FE knight D2 rook A6, knight E4. But this knight will then be on D6. I've had enough pieces on D6, so maybe just rook A6 for the moment. At least I don't have to play this contortionist move, rook F6. I can keep the rook nicely on F7. I really maybe want it on F7 and bishop F8. Anyway, knight F4 coming up. This is an interesting idea. It's rook A6. So let's see. He's going to allow knight F4. Rook E1, knight F4, bishop F1. There's a problem with that. Maybe I've got FE there that needs to be looked at. Knight D2. I've got knight F5 as conversation. Knight E4, knight D4. I don't know. But rook A6 has got him thinking. So it's not all over just with this D6 strategy. Let's see. So what is he thinking about? Maybe E takes F, G takes, knight E5, attacking F4, bishop E5. bishop h5, bishop a1, queen a1. Is it that clear? In that line, queen a5 though, and the b5 is loose. If the bishop's going to be used like that. Okay. So now, can I just get the king out of the firing line here? I think I will. He's using a lot of time. I don't know if he's trying to positionally crush me by finding specific resources. But takes knight e4, knight f5, that doesn't look like a complete positional crush, because although there's the fantastic knight on e4, maybe I've got compensation there. On the other hand, why don't I just continue with just g5 and knight g6? Yeah, I think I'll do that. As if ef, bishop f5 will be contesting that critical e4 square, like you're supposed to, really, in the King's Engine. I think I once read, every Russian schoolboy knows about the knight on e4 being good in the King's Engine. Okay, so knight g6. So after this, maybe okay, bishop takes. He's got g4 if he really wants it, but it's a compromise move to weaken the king side. Okay, here I think I should take that knight. It's too good. Knight h3, g4. There's knight h2 there. That would be embarrassing. So yeah, I think knight h4 attacking g2 rather ridiculously. It looks pretty dangerous. Okay, now here. So knight f2, rook f2, rook f2, g takes. Not sure about that position. So maybe just knight g6 here, threatening knight f2. Looks safer. Yeah. The queen's also protecting d6 from f8. Anyway, if rook f8, also going to play bishop, I think. So, right. Okay, that's a problem. What to do with that knight? So if g4 take the queen, if rook f1, bishop f1, I've got queen f6. If king h3, queen f2, I think I'll go for that actually. Rook f1. Is he really going to take with the bishop to try and munch this king with his king? Give me the f2 square. I think he is. In which case, if I get a queen to f2, knight f4, and queen h4 looks as though it might be really dangerous. Okay, queen f6. King h3, queen f2. Maybe, do I need to do this? That's the question, do I need to do this? I think the queen could be evicted with rook c2 in that line. If knight f4 takes, can't see anything there. So maybe a quick knight sack, like previously considered as a sort of thematic idea here. Right, queen d7. Uh-oh. Not good. Now he's coming on the light squares as well. Ouch. This could be the end of the winning run, unfortunately. But he's only got a few seconds, I don't know. Maybe he's going to blunder. I'll take on e6. Not good. 17 seconds each. Is he going to just play queen f5? Yeah. It's threatening f6. Ouch. Even the iPhone goes off, but he's only got 7 seconds. Can I take on a2? Oops. 5 seconds. Can I play rook f2? Nope. Knight h3, try and win on time. Yep. Hope you're enjoying that. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Every phone's going off now. Okay. Hope to see your comments later. Cheers.